All right, so moving onward to our next session, that is panel discussion, adoption of omni-channel customer engagement strategy to enhance customer engagement and create seamless experience. Introducing our moderator, Ms. Pallavi Ram, Customer Experience Lead at Bangalore International Airport Limited. Ms. Pallavi Ram, as a Customer Success Lead at Bangalore Airport Limited, brings over extensive years of experience from roles at Bangalore International Airport Limited and Orion Mall Management Company Limited. With a bachelor's degree in business management, her expertise include aviation, Microsoft Office, management and talent management. Also, I invite the fellow panelists, Mr. Arvind Singh, CTO at Puravankara Limited, Mr. Yashwanth Kumar, Group President of Customer Loyalty and Analytics at Landmark Group, Mr. Saurabh Kishore, CTO at DealShare, and Ms. Sapna Singh, Head of Customer Experience Management and Intellectual Property and Trademarks at ITC Limited.
Thank you so much, Naveen. And hi, everyone. I'm Pallavi, and like he introduced, I work at the Bangalore International Airport. And I'm really excited to be at the panel today and be moderating it. So before we start off, I'll quickly ask all of our panelists to give a two-sentence introduction so we know who our panelists are. So I'll start from Sapna.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Sapna Singh. So I'm from ITC Limited. I've been with ITC for like 3 decades. And I'm currently heading the customer experience management, moving on to the stakeholder experience management. Yeah, and other than that, I handle a couple of other profiles as well. Yeah, but primarily this is the area of expertise that I'm in right now, and which is what brings me here today.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Saurabh Kishore. I'm the Chief Technology Officer for DealShare. DealShare is basically a retail company, primarily an e-commerce company in the grocery retail. Our operations are largely in the northern part of the country, in the NCR, Jaipur, Kolkata, Lucknow, in those regions. So we are, you can think like a big basket, you know. Our focus is largely the tier 2, tier 3 markets. That's why, you know, many of you in this room may not be even aware of DealShare, and the focus is largely in the northern part of the country right now. We have our online business as well as we are opening up a lot of stores as well and moving into a more omni-channel use cases in the omni-channel business as well. So very happy to be here with the panel here.
Hi everyone, I'm Yashwanth. I manage loyalty for the Landmark Group. I'm the Group President for Loyalty and Analytics for the Landmark Group. For people who are not aware of the group, we are known as Max, Lifestyle, Home Center, Spar and Easy Buy in the country. My passions are data analytics as well as customer experience. So looking forward to this panel discussion.
Hi everyone, this is Arvind Singh. I am Group CTO cum CIO for Puravankara Group. It's an old organization here in South, so you know most of you guys might be aware. Puravankara is one brand, Provident is another brand.
All right, thank you so much for that quick introduction. So in the era when we are, just talking about clicks and swipes and taps and instant gratification for sure, we want to give the best or the magical experiences to all of our customers, wherever they are, online, offline, or in anything in between, right? So with that, I will start off my first question to Yashwanth. So how has the concept of omni-channel, evolved in the context of customer engagement? And what are the key benefits it offers and when we compare it to the traditional, channels?
Yeah, thanks, Pallavi. I think that's an interesting question. You mentioned evolution. So essentially, if you really look at omni-channel experience, it's really evolved as a response to 2 things. One is changing customer behavior, as well as advancements in technology. So these are the 2 really factors behind the evolution of omni-channel experience. So, but what really is the premise of omni-channel experience? What is it about? In my view, omni-channel experience is essentially about 2 things. And if you do these 2 things well, you'll be able to create a great omni-channel experience. One is creating a seamless experience. And the second bit is about, creating a consistent experience across all customer touch points as well as journeys. And let me explain how. For example, for a seamless experience, if you walk into any of our home center stores and let's say you were browsing products and you shortlisted some furniture products, but you didn't really want to buy at that point of time. And then you came back and then, if you get, let's say, a communication or a message on your app, and then you opened up your app and you saw the products which you had earlier shortlisted now are now on offer or something like that. That would be an example of a great experience for you. So that's how you can create a seamless experience. Seamless experience between the time the customer has visited your store to when he's actually browsing, and then you see the products what he selected is now at a great offer and you can buy. That's one example. Consistent experience is about really giving the same experience irrespective of the channel of contact. For instance, let's say you bought a new furniture again from our home center, but there was a stain in your sofa, and then you want to figure out how to address the stain, and then you, let's say, irrespective of the fact of whether you sent out an email, you called up the customer care center, or you were chatting with on our website, you have to get the same information. So that's really the premise of an omnichannel experience. So if you provide a seamless and consistent experience across all channels, then you're able to have a more meaningful engagement with your customers. So that's to me, that's how the evolution has happened. Now to the second part of your question, Pallavi. I mean, what are the benefits of omnichannel engagement? First is obviously a higher satisfaction and therefore better loyalty. Obviously, if the omni-channel requirement is from the customer, the world has changed and customers have become omni, and therefore their expectation is that you give them a consistent experience. So if you create a great experience for them, then you'll be rewarded with higher satisfaction and loyalty. Secondly, very interesting is that you can also, omni-channel experience can also get you better revenue. See, for instance, in the example which I cited above, you are always in touch with the customer. So you have more chances of connecting with the customer and getting a conversion going. So obviously higher revenue. And third is by optimizing the experience basis the customer's actual need, you'll be able to even optimize your costs. For instance, channels such as chatbots, email, etc. are much less expensive as compared to having a full-fledged customer care associate address every call. So again, your better ROI and efficiency. And last but not the least would be consumer insights. Since you're able to get information about your customers across multiple surfaces, you'll be able to understand individual preferences and customize, again, your experience. So for instance, there could be certain sets of customers who would like to browse on your app, but visit the store and make a purchase. You can understand what are the milestones, what are the occasions in which you want to make a purchase, and so on and so forth. So having an omni-channel engagement also gives you a lot of valuable customer data, consumer insights. So to kind of sum up, I think omni-channel engagement is no more a good to have. I think it's a must-have capabilities for all companies.
So I'm sure we all agree with you that omnichannel is something that is not just a buzzword anymore, and we have to implement it if we have to stay relevant and also stay ahead of your competitors. And when we talk about customers and their data, everything is getting stored in one single location, which is why we're able to give the seamless or frictionless experience to all of our customers. And coming from an aviation background, this becomes very challenging in terms of getting customer data because travelers are not our direct customers, but airlines actually, call them the customers, and then airlines are then our customers. But we are also trying to get there using our app, and every airport is trying to do that to get the customer data itself, because that's when you actually know who you are serving and what their preferences and everything about the customer. So we'll move on to the next question to Saurabh. Saurabh, what are the critical challenges that organizations face when implementing this omni-channel, customer strategies, and how can this be challenge? I mean, how can these challenges be overcoming in the coming days, or how do you do it at DealShare?
Sure. So I would just add, the basic definition of omnichannel and why this has become so critical, as we said. Basically, the customers, they want to be serviced wherever they want, whenever they want, however they want, right? So that means all the channels, your physical, your online channels have to come together to service your customers. As Yashwanth said, that the experience has to be seamless. Your brand offering has to be seamless. It cannot happen that You get one kind of an experience in an online or a different kind of experience in offline, right? Now the challenges I would say typically, and as Yashwanth also rightly said, it's extremely difficult to implement these things without having a strong technology, right? I think a lot of these omni-channels, the underlying, I would say, a requirement or a prerequisite is to have a technology behind it to support in enabling those use cases, right? Now, if I talk about that, one of the challenges that I have seen, a lot of companies, they start with one primary channel, and especially the companies who start, maybe slightly older companies or the existing companies, where mostly, let's say they were the offline companies, right? In the new age companies also, as we are seeing, the companies that have started as online, they're also getting into the offline business, right? And if I take an example of DealShare, we started as an e-commerce company, we started as a primarily an online company. We are opening up stores, physical stores now, right? So what the future of retail, if we definitely talk about, and maybe that's true for most of the industries, it is an omni-channel experience, right? You have to be present both online and offline to service your customers, right? The three challenges which I would say are primary challenges in terms of enabling that, one is, of course, the experience has to be very seamless. How do you ensure that the same kind of experience the customers get when they interact to you through different channels, right? So that's one challenge. The second thing is, I would say more from a technology standpoint. The biggest challenge that I have seen in the implementation of omni-channel is primarily the data part of it. How do you have a single view of the data across channels? If my customer is shopping in my offline channel, and then they go and interact with me in the online channel, do their loyalty points, do their credits, everything that applies in one channel, does it automatically gets transferred to the other channel, right? So that's one. The second thing is, again, if I'm using my industry example for retail, the view of the inventory, the view of the product that you're selling, right? Whether it's your catalog, whether it's the inventory of the products that you're selling, how do you give a single view of that to your customers? That any point in time, whether I'm buying offline, whether I'm buying online, I can stand in the store and I should be able to place an order online or vice versa. I can place an order online and I should be able to pick it up from the store. Or it can be delivered from the store, right? Now, that requires a complete visibility of the availability of your products in any channel, regardless of which channel the customer is interacting from, right? Now, he might be interacting in an online channel, but you need to have a visibility into the inventory of your store that is available, which is nearest to the customer, right? So that's, I would say, the second requirement. The third requirement from the data standpoint is the order visibility. The customer will place the order in any channel, and he should be able to track the order through any channel, right? So if I'm placing an order online, that visibility should be there when I interact with the business in an offline, or if I'm placing an order offline, I should be able to track this if it is getting delivered, let's say, through online. So I would say one is the centralization of the data. The enterprise view of the data is a second challenge. The third thing which I would say is also critical for implementing the omnichannel use cases is, how do you get your organization aligned at an execution level to the common vision? I'll take an example. If my customer is placing an order online, and this is, I would say, a very, very prominent use case in the retail business, especially when the world is moving towards quick commerce, 1 hour delivery, 2 hour delivery. I got to deliver the customer order if I happen to have a physical store as well. And that's why the future is more omni-channel, right? We are opening up physical stores. I know even a large player like a Big Basket has started opening up their offline stores. And whether it's Amazon, I have worked with a company called Target in the past, which were predominantly a large US retailer. They significantly invested on their online channel, and they leveraged their offline stores to service the customers for online orders, right? It becomes extremely critical that how do you get the organization aligned behind those omni-channel metrics and the use cases when people might be focusing on one channel. As an example, how do I get my offline physical store staff to service my online customers with the same passion what they do for the offline customers, right? They don't take it as a second priority for them. So I would say three things which I would talk about. One is getting an enterprise view of the data so that it's a very, very seamless journey from the customer from one to the other, right? Second is about how do you get your staff or your different channels to align for omni-channel. The third thing is how do you ensure a very, very seamless experience for the brand, what the brand promises for everything wherever the customer interacts, whichever interface they interact with. I would say these are the three challenges.
All right. So we commonly hear three main things, which is consistency, and then knowing or identifying which channel your customers are interacting with your brand, and also how effectively can you deliver those experiences to your customers. So with that, keeping in mind the omni-channel framework, my next question is to Arvind. Arvind, how organizations or your organization ensure consistency and coherence in messaging and branding in across the various channels that customers are interacting with your brand or generically any other brands?
I think my friends have covered a lot of retail. I have a lot of experience in retail and joined real estate as extended retail. So I won't cover retail, but I would talk about real estate. So I think nuances of real estate is not different than what retail has. Only difference is the volume is higher. It's a higher cost. It's a emotions, high emotions. So you have to deal with the customer in a different way. So I think omni-channel strategy should start from knowing the customer from wherever he is, even thinking, searching, and interacting with your brand or outside your brand. So knowing the customer, and then when you unify the customer, you should have 360-degree view of the customer. So my friend talked about technology. That's one aspect. Processes and people are other aspects. Any change in a typical traditional industry, it's not possible just by technology. There it requires mindset change. It requires a lot of change management, adoption, training, to bring that change in place. Like data, you can't capture data. You can make things compulsory, but until people capture data at various touch points, your data is not rich. And when your data is not rich or sufficient, it's difficult to take out any insight, productive insight from that data. So, these are basics of any, strategy. Brand-wise, like in real estate is primarily dependent on channel partners. In common language, it's brokers. So whether those channel partners are, taking the brand in same language, communicating that brand in same language, it's very, very important. Project commitment from the brand would be XYZ. But just to sell, any channel partner would sell ABC. So those kind of brand inconsistency impacts the brand value. So it's very important that brand statement or brand messaging should be consistent across the channels to ensure that there should be governance. What channel is allowed to speak? How channel should present the projects? How channel should interact with our end customers, because at the end of the day, customers are our customers. So it's very important. The other part is the transparency. You can't have omni-channel experience if you don't have transparency in the processes, in the information which a customer is looking for. So it's all customer-driven world today. What customer wants, what problem you are trying to solve, that's important. There cannot be a right-hand screw rule that everybody has done this, so I will also do this. That doesn't work. So how it applies to your industry, within the industry also, how it applies to your organization. Because within the industry, organizations are at a different level, different of the business maturity, employee maturity, process maturity. So considering those things, you should bring the strategy in place, which is cohesive, take care of things what are on ground, and then you build slow. It should not be rat race that everybody is doing, so I would also do. Like Chat GPT, if you most of people will talk about what you are doing in AI. They will not ask you, this is my problem statement, can you solve it using AI? So that is how things work.
True, and when we all have evolved as an organization that it's very important all of us keep customers at the center of everything that we do and strategize everything, keeping customer in the center of the stage. We really think it's also important how do we also secure their privacy, and how fast the technology is evolving these days. We're talking about Gen AI, Gen BI, from the previous sessions, and also that's the stage that we're moving forward with, and it's a really fast-paced world that we are in currently. So with that, I will ask my next question to Sapna. In what ways can AI and automation technologies enhance omnipresence or omni-channel strategies, and particularly addressing the customer queries? Today, everybody wants instant responses when they reach out to a brand, and if they're not able to get through that, they really lose patience, and also they become unhappy because the expectations are so high from across the brands, and you as an organization or you as a brand, if you fail to meet that expectation, then there is very high chance that the customer may not consider to come back unless you really are the monopoly in the market. Also, what is your take on this, Sapna?
Right, yeah. So, okay, so AI, today everybody's talking about AI, right? So it's basically you start off with the technological part of it. So both online and offline, you can bring in a lot of these AI-led interventions, So one, yes, be where the customer wants you to be, in the sense, the omni-channel kind of a presence. And at that same time, be present at the time when the customer wants you to be present. So it could not be your normal 8 to 5 or 9 to 5 or 9 to 6 kind of a timing. You would extend it beyond the regular timings, right? So a person coming back from work would want to kind of reach out to you for whatever queries they might have about your brand, or ask certain questions, or want some resolution about the products they have purchased. So what do? I mean, that's when they reach out to you maybe in the middle of the night. So be there at the time when you have to be. So, and then provide the kind of resolution that you need to. So this is something that AI can probably provide. You can't expect your human agents to be present at that particular time. So be there when the person wants you to be present. Other than that, now how soon can you provide a resolution, right? So it's like you cannot take your time and then say I will come back to you after whatever time. Now that is where you need to kind of ensure that you provide the resolution at that point in time when the person wants it. So that is where you would have the AIs coming in, and these days people talking about ChatGPT, like my panelist, one of the panelists mentioned, and then you also have the lots of AI-led interventions coming in, right? So you would want all these interventions happening at the same time, not having a dependency on your human agents, because human agents can only do as much in a given point in time. Whereas these kind of AI-led interventions probably will take you a longer way, and which is where that becomes, and it's not just for a particular channel. The interventions could be for both your online as well as your offline channels. So what is the things that you can do? Make your responses more consistent, make it standardized across all your channels, and not kind of have a particular channel where you give a lot of focus on. So this is where all your omni-channel kind of interventions come into the play. So that is where I feel like even in fact when we have started our journey as well, so we have with it a lot of we are looking into how we can kind of automate the processes for our own human agents, so that there is this virtual agent who kind of reinforces, or rather helps out in their interactions with customers. Then there is the bit on data when you collect, and then how can I kind of make it more automated, because lots of data is getting crunched today, right? So how can I kind of get some insights out of it? First analyze the data, get some insights out of it, then take it further into what can I do for the agents as well, so or the associates. Can I do something to make their experience better, in the sense like, can I give them some kind of a dashboard, some kind of a data point where they can respond faster, and it makes it more consistent for them? And can I then get into the inciting of what the voice of the customer has been? So this entire journey, your customer journey, from the time the person has reached out to you till the time you actually kind of provided the resolution, in turn, in between, even your people, your processes, your technology, everything comes into play there. So all these kind of, at each and every stage of your customer journey, you can have these AIs play a role. So that is what I think, kind of makes a good omni experience, omni-channel experience.
Absolutely. And when we're talking about omni-channel, the word that automatically pops up is a lot discussed in today's session as well, which is hyper-personalization. So a lot of us feel hyper-personalization could be a gift to a lot of organizations, and a lot of customers would definitely appreciate it because they're getting what they want. And even when they don't know what they want, they will eventually choose, from all the things that the brands are offering. Maybe they think that they want, and sometimes there's also a thin line where customers don't really want it but still end up buying because the brands have consistently been promoting it. In a world like that, and also Sapna, you touched upon the data analytics part, and today we all know that how much of data we all have been collecting from all the customers that our brand and other brands, we also try to maybe buy some data from other organizations sometimes, right? So in this, I would want to give this question to Yashwanth first, and probably I'll also go around. What role does data analytics play in optimizing omni-channel customer experience, and how can the organizations really leverage this in today's age?
Sure, Pallavi. But before that, I think in your case, because of Digi Yatra and all that, you have all the information you need. Okay, that's from a lighter note. Sure. So data analytics has become a buzzword, and truly it's become more important even in this area of optimizing your omni-channel experience. And but how do you use data analytics to optimize your omni-channel experience? In my view, data analytics is like a torch which you shine, on the floor or on the corners of your ceiling, and you can identify, either hidden opportunities or understand problems better. So it's really about, to me, it's about uncovering insights which can improve your omni-channel experience. And let me talk about a few examples which to kind of illustrate this, right? So let's take customer insights. Now, what is customer insights? Again, it goes back to your collection of data. And I think Saurabh spoke about this earlier. To start with, you need to collect data about your customers across all your surfaces, which could be your offline stores, it could be your online websites, it could be your apps, it could be your NPS surveys. And you collect all of this data together and put it in one place. So you have what we call as a single view of the customer. So with this in mind, you can understand very interesting things. See, for instance, there could be customers who only buy new products. They're not interested in discounts, right? So why would you want to sell them, communication about your offers? So likewise, you have customers who buy only during festivals, right? So you'd probably queue them communication, or you'd reach out to them only during festivals. So by understanding customer behaviors as well as across surfaces, you'll be able to customize your experience basis, their specific interaction. So that's one part of it. The second part where data can help you improve your customer omni-channel experiences is really about product insights. See, for instance, data analytics can identify emergent topics. So for instance, you could identify a problem before it becomes big, because before it snowballs into a large problem where you need to go back and recall products and so on and so forth. So that's one use case. The other way data analytics can help is that by going through your surveys, by looking at your verbatims, and by using sophisticated ML techniques, you'll be able to identify, even what your customers, their feedback about your competitors' products too. So everything to do about your products, deep insights, how to improve your products, have I priced my products right, am I doing this right from a installation perspective, from a store purchase perspective. All of that can be obtained by looking at your data. The third area is again service insights. See, for instance, how did my staff treat you at the store? Was your billing experience great? From an online perspective, how was the website? How was your app experience? Did it take a lot of time for you to find the right product? Did you find the right, were you able to quickly complete your checkout? Did you find enough options in terms of, fintech, payment partners, so on and so forth. So by looking at all your customer data, you'll be able to make incremental and ongoing continuous improvements of your entire experience, your store experience, your customer care experience, and so on and so forth. And all of this obviously will lead to a much better experience for your customers. So that's one way. Secondly, what you can also do is that these days, thanks to AI and machine learning, using propensity models. Now, propensity models can really identify when is a customer ready to make a purchase. So you can use propensity models to improve your conversion. Recommendation systems can be used to curate and give you the right set of products and recommend the right set of products to your customers. So that's again, that's only possible using data analytics. And likewise, churn models can actually tell you which customers are likely to churn and so on and so forth. So what you can do is that using this information, you can, in a way, using these automated insights, you can push these insights into your automated campaign stack, as well as to your, let's say, your customer care agent, so that every interaction, be it offline, online, on the website, on a chatbot, etc., is very nuanced and takes into account all the aspects of the customer. Is the customer a slightly pissed off customer, so therefore the core objective is retention? Or is the customer happy and he just wants to explore your products? Or is a customer just about to make a purchase because he spent enough time in discovering, researching your product? So therefore, the next pitch has to be about making that conversion. So all of this is only possible, all of this personalization, this contextualization is only possible if you bring in data analytics. So, yeah.
So what are your
Few
quick
things I would
insights?
add what my friend has said. I think everything starts from data. People talk about data. Data is the new oil, but for a lot of business, unfortunately, this oil doesn't fire because there's data lacks. There's no sufficient data to take out insights. Whenever you take insights, there are a lot of things you can do around it. So data is not about just customer. It's about business also. It's about employee also. How employees are interacting with customer, how your pre-sales is interacting with customer, what kind of training needs they require. That all those insights are also critical, to refine the customer experience. The second part is how I can reduce the purchase time, like, from where person has started looking a property to purchasing a property. That time also I can reduce if I understand, the customer better. One of earlier panel was talking about, verifying, so validate whether he has the right intent, he has the ability to pay, and based on that, you pitch the right product. If a person has a capability of supposing 1.5 CR and you are going to sell a 3.5 CR flat to him, it will not happen. So understanding the customer, understanding his intent, understanding his ability, understanding what stage of life he is, what kind of family he has. If it's just a couple without kids, maybe they might go for a studio apartment or 1 BHK or 2 BHK. But if a family has 2 kids, maybe they will go for 3 BHK. So understanding the customer itself, gives you a lead how to attract that customer, how to convert that customer, reduce the purchase time, and also refining the training, coaching to our own employees. There are various interfaces in any journey, like, you have EMM team, which is pre-sales team. You have sales team, who, once pre-sales team gives the lead to the sales team starts interacting. So whether the customer data or information is transferring from one stage to another stage in proper fashion. So, I should not start at a second stage or third stage. I should not start the discussion from scratch. I should know enough about the customer to make him comfortable. He should understand that I know his needs, and then take the discussion further.
Understood. So I would also ask Sapna's view on this question as well. So over to you, Sapna.
Yeah, so kind of data is kind of pivotal for everything which you do in your CX journey, right? So Like when you have to look at our kind of industry, in an FMCG industry, you need to know, like while my fellow panelists have actually touched upon some of the things that you can do with the data, you know, inciting of the data, and what is it that, what would be the outcome of whatever information you've received from the customers. For us in an FMCG kind of an industry, you would need to know what can I do better? Can I change the recipe of my product? So like being in a food industry, can I change the recipe of, or should I change the recipe of the product rather? Or can I change the communication of the product, the communication that I put across for my brand? So these are some of the things that would actually help us change the things at the back end, right? So these become very, very pivotal for us when we pick up this information from the customers, from the voice of the customer. One is that bit of it where you kind of help your customers to do, you kind of, do the things at the back end. Now, the next part of it is what can you do better to make your own experience, giving the experience to your customers. How can I make my agents speak better to the person? Do they like it in this channel? Do I kind of, make a person speak only on this channel, or do I go to the other channels? So these are some of the other information that you can actually pick up from the voice of the customer and then make those relevant changes. So this data crunching or data picking up and then kind of analyzing what is the information that is there, and with all the feedbacks that you get from customers, would also help us give a lot of insights which would give you some kind of, you make changes within your own system and in your processes. So this is what kind of becomes pivotal. I think in even ITC as well, we have started doing this thing for quite some time, and then also me being in the analytics field for, primarily for the sales analytics, I feel like, that again, kind of, if we translate it into our CX journey as well, the data that we get out here is enormous. With sales, it's only like kind of a structured data. Here it is both structured and unstructured data that you would need to kind of analyze and then come to a kind of some kind of a, you give back to the customer. So these are some of the things that you would typically want to do with the data that you would get. And it's very, very pivotal for any kind of industry, and more so for CX now with multiple, with omni-channel kind of an experience that you need to provide to the customers, and with multiple sets of data that you get from all these channels. So that's the way I would kind of look at it.
All right. Thank you so much. And with that, we'll move on to the last question for the panel, and I would ask Saurabh to answer this question. But before that, one in every, 9 out of 10. Like if you're saying you have 10 customers, out of that 9 of them want omnichannel today because they want to interact with the brand in every form factor that they want to interact. And as brands, we have to be aware of it, and then just keep moving and enhancing our services to that. And with that, Saurabh, what are the examples of implementing these omni-channel, in your company, or whatever your previous organizations? What do you think is the great example that we could give to the audience today in terms of implementing this strategy, and which has actually led to enhancing the customer experience?
Sure. As I was sharing that we are opening up physical stores at DealShare, so I would say we are kind of in the early stages of building that true omnichannel experience, bringing a physical and the online together. But I would say one of the best examples that I can use is from my previous experience working at Target. So Target, if you guys know, it's one of the largest US big box kind of retailer, which has got about 2,000 stores in the US. And when we were building our omnichannel journey there, one of the couple of use cases that we worked for was how can, and this is quick commerce world we are talking about, right? Quick commerce has picked up steam, I would say, in the last couple of years, 2, 3, 4 years. Definitely Instacart and all were there in the US many years ago, but with the Zaptos and Blinkits and all coming in. So this is, I'm talking about, let's say about 8 to 10 years ago, when this whole concept of 30-minute delivery was not there in the industry at all, right? So we built certain omnichannel use cases at Target, and our biggest competitor was Amazon at the time. And a lot of large US retail companies were struggling to survive with the online business, especially the offline retailers. So one of the strengths that we worked on, that we had 2,000 stores in the US. We were within about 5 to 10 miles of any customer, which Amazon was not, because Amazon had like 30, 40 fulfillment centers across the US, right? We started fulfilling all our orders from our stores. And we gave two options to the customer. Either it can be shipped from the nearest store to the customer, or you can pick up from store. Now, pick up from store, you can do within 30 minutes. So what people started doing, that when they left their office and there's a Target store on the way, they would place an order, they'll come to the parking of the Target, and somebody will come in and put your order in your booth. And they'll also bring a Starbucks coffee if they happen to order that, right? So imagine a use case where you are absolutely, the experience becomes absolutely seamless. You don't waste any time in your shopping, right? So, and those use cases we were able to meet within like 30 minutes for most of the customers, right? Same thing when we were shipping it from the store, we cut down significantly the delivery time to the customer. At the same time, we also cut our cost as well. So it did two things. One, it gave a great experience to the customer. It could deliver the order within 30 minutes if you're picking up from the store. If you're shipping from the store, you can do most of it now within a day. At the same time, for the brands, for the business, it saved huge costs, because shipping cost is the biggest cost in the online business, right? So I would say that's like a great use case, and it significantly helped in growing the business at Target, especially during the COVID times. Their online business almost doubled during that time. Primarily the omni-channel use cases was a big factor for driving those sales.
So with that, I think we could conclude the panel. Do we have time for questions? All right. So with that, let's conclude the session. And I'm sure all of you are hungry, and we are really beyond time. So let's quickly give them a round of applause. And also, if you have any questions, please, you're welcome to socialize with them during lunch or maybe after the session. So thank you everyone for being here, and happy lunch, everyone. Thanks.
Thanks a lot to all the panel members for sharing your thoughts and insights on the topic adoption of omni-channel customer strategy to enhance customer engagement. To do the honors, I request Dr. Biswajit Mohapatra, Head of Customer Solutions and CIO Advisory India and South Asia at Amazon Web Services. Mr. Yashwanth Kumar, Landmark Group.